Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Red Carpet Show, live here at Tyler Hall for the 13th annual Louis B. O'Donnell Media Summit. I'm Anthony Sagristano, joined alongside by Chelsea Moore, and we have a great topic in store for you guys today: facts, fiction, politics, and the news. So, Chelsea, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today, Anthony. You know, the weather is beautiful outside. It's shaping up to be a great day. The rain is holding off. We've got a lot of exciting things going on. You can feel the energy inside of Tyler right now. We've got career connectors, we've got panelists, we've got everybody showing up. Everybody's just getting excited for the show. So come on down to the Waterman Theater inside of Tyler Hall. The doors will open at 2:30, I believe, and the show starts promptly at 3 o'clock. It's one that you definitely don't want to miss. So come on down and get involved with us.
Absolutely. There's no better day for a walk, and if you walk down to Tyler Hall, you will not be disappointed. We have a great group of panelists and career connectors, and of those panelists, it's a very diverse group that just knows that meat and potatoes of this topic, politics and the news. And to give you a little bit more about those panelists, we're going to throw you over to our live reporter, Stephanie Shalaro, who's going to have a little bit more about those panelists. Steph, what do you got for us?
Hi guys, thank you so much, Chelsea and Anthony. I'm Stephanie Schlero, and I'm out here on the red carpet waiting for that 3 o'clock mark when the 2017 13th annual Dr. Louis B. O'Donnell Media Summer is set to begin. But first, let's take a quick look at who our panelists are going to be for this year. Take a look.
First up is an award-winning CBS News radio correspondent. Stephen Portnoy has reported from the Pentagon, Washington, and Capitol Hill, but is currently covering the Trump administration from within the White House. Portnoy graduated from Syracuse University. The next panelist is also a Syracuse alum. Kristen Donnelly is an NBC News White House producer whose career first began as a one-woman band reporter for WWNY-TV in Watertown, New York. Trudy Perkins is on the panel. Not only is she an Oswego alum, but she is currently the Deputy Chief of Staff and Communications Director for U.S. Representative Elijah Cummings from Maryland. The last of the panel is radio host and conservative political commentator Bob Lonsberry. Currently, he hosts radio talk shows in both Syracuse and Rochester. Lonsberry is the only person to ever win the top New York Associated Press Commentary Award for newspaper, radio, and television. Moderating the panel tonight will be Benita Zahn, a co-anchor and health and wellness reporter for News Channel 13. Benita has won various awards for her work, including the 2015 Resourceful Woman Award. She also holds a doctorate in professional studies and bioethics.
Thanks, Steph. It's really looking like this topic is about, infusing politics and news and how they mix, or maybe how they don't mix. We definitely saw in the 2016 presidential election that fake news was really, a hot topic, a buzzword, if you will, in terms of, people finding false information about different candidates. And, that false information, it's used for political or financial gain. And it's something that, it should be stopped.
Definitely. I think this topic is very important and relevant to what's happening right now, not just really in media, but in every occupation. Now is a time that people are really starting to question credibility of sources and of people. No matter what occupation you have, whether you're in media or you're a doctor or a lawyer or just anyone, now is a big time of credibility and just trying to just really distinguish the difference between facts and fiction and, trying to be ethical in all of that as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, just as broadcasters and reporters, you have to be aware of where people are getting that information. According to Vox, 44% of all adults get their news off of Facebook. Social media is just plagued with fake news, and it's plagued with this propaganda and these hoaxes. And on top of it, additionally, in 2017, a study was performed that showed that 40% of the content on far-right Facebook pages and 19% of extreme left pages were incorrect or false. And when you have people coming to these sites and they're reading this false information, how do you know it's credible? How do you know the difference between the facts and the fiction? Exactly.
I think it really puts a responsibility on us, not just as people involved in the media field, but as citizens, and even it puts that responsibility on you to really make sure you know what you're talking about, to know where you're getting your information from, and to be ethical in that, and to try not to be biased, and to understand what is truth, what is not truth. So I think that this is a very great topic for the discussion today, and we're really excited. So coming up after the break, we are going to do a few interviews, and we've got a lot more excitement in store for you. Stay tuned, guys.
The second I got on the campus, I knew Oswego was the place to go.
There's a place for everybody at Oswego.
This school just opens the world to you. Have the opportunity to explore and to learn so many different things, not only about yourself, but the people around you and the world.
It definitely is about the student. I felt it to be very about me. Now that I'm here, I can't imagine myself anywhere else.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
What up, it's your man Flo Rida, and right now you got it locked to WTOP.
Welcome back to the Red Carpet Show here live at Tyler Hall. We have a special guest, Lou Borelli, joined alongside. Thanks for joining us, Lou.
My pleasure. Thanks for doing this.
To give you guys a little bit of a quick introduction about Lou, he is a media executive, investor, advisor, successful entrepreneur, and a recognized industry leader. He's a pioneer in cable television, online media, and broadcast production services. He's most recently served as a CEO for Nimble TV and a board chairman for Shogo.tv. Additionally, he's also the president and CEO, or he was, of NEP Broadcasting, which is the leading international provider of outsourced teleproduction services. And now getting more locally, Lou serves on the Oswego College Foundation Board and Oswego School of Communication, Media, and the Arts Advisory Board. And in 2005, he established this year Dr. Louis B. O'Donnell Media Summit and was awarded the Presidential Medal by SUNY Oswego in 2014. So now that we have that all out of the way, Chelsea. Yeah.
Totally exhausted.
I thought maybe I could get it all in one breath, but
I had to take a break there. All right, so, Lou, this is the 13th year you have going. I mean, what kind of feelings does that give you? How do you feel? It's a very successful event, so.
This is my favorite day of the year. And, when we started this 13 years ago, the hope was that we would be able to bring media people from around the world to Oswego and give students the ability for a first-person real interaction. And we've done that. And I'm glad that it's all progressed. I'm very proud of the student group that puts this together. Most people really don't understand. It's a totally student-run event. And it's a 12-month job. I mean, we start talking about next year as soon as New Year's rolls around. So this year's topic, I think, very timely. But, most of all, I'm proud of the fact that here at SUNY Oswego, we can really demonstrate and highlight the great work that students such as yourselves do.
Well, thank you very much. That's a very good point. It is a very timely topic, and why do you think it's important for us to really distinguish between what is fact and what is fiction? I mean, I know it's an obvious question, but at the same time, some people I think have some trouble with that.
Well, I think what's happened over the years with the digitization of content, democratization of distribution, you have this sort of non-stop, immediate opportunity to have content sort of thrown at you. Often it's done without context. A lot of times the sourcing is not clear. And so I think as consumers, as newspaper readers, as television viewers, as radio listeners, the responsibility is more pushed in our direction to really figure out what's real and what's not. And how do you go about navigating that? How does it impact your day-to-day decision making? I think it's important. I think today's discussion will be terrific. It's not meant to be a political discussion. It's meant to be more about this is the reality we're in, and how can our student audience, as well as the audience around the world watching this, can they help themselves to become better, smarter consumers of information?
Definitely. And I think you brought up a great point, too, when you said, you know, the whole thing about instant gratification. And now with social media, anyone can almost become a journalist if you want to say it like that. And it's good in some ways, and in some ways it's very dangerous. So I think that that's definitely, you know, relevant. We need to understand that. What do you think the impact of social media has had, and what do you project will happen with this whole topic with that?
So what social media has essentially done is kind of pushed it almost to a full extent, pushed traditional media aside, because in the old days, you had a limited number of channels putting out a limited number of news broadcasts, and so by definition there were fewer people creating and deciding what people saw each night. Now, that could be scary, except that there were journalistic standards and there was practices and such. Today, what has happened is that type of infrastructure has sort of been usurped by this all digital, all the time, anybody can be a network if they have an internet connection. And I think that that's exacerbated the old business model. I think it's become quite disruptive. And it's not like disruption is bad. However, I think when you start playing around with facts and when you start weaponizing the media for a particular agenda, which, let's face it, there are people who do that on either side. This is not a left versus right thing. This is sort of a what's right thing to me. And I think that today's discussion, you know, will dig into that.
Definitely. I think that's a really great point. And I think it's important to really kind of think about social media in that and how it relates, because it's becoming, you know, a really relevant, you know, like hot topic issue, like you said.
My thing with social media is you can go on the social media at any time and you'll see countless articles, and it's which ones can you trust, which ones can't you trust, and you know, you can go through sources and you can really do your own research, but at the end of the day this stuff is being, you know, just distributed and conveyed out there, and people are seeing it regardless of if you believe it's correct, they can believe it's correct, and really screw the opinions of the public.
I think that everyone needs to be smart about how they decide what they're hearing or watching is being constructed and where it comes from, because there are a lot of things that happen in the background. There are people that have agendas, and it doesn't have to be people. It could be corporations, it could be governments, it could be anybody. And I think that it's better to know where it's from, and it's better to know something about them. It's all about context. If you're not layering in context into what you're seeing and hearing, then you're potentially missing a very big part of the story.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you, Lou, for those great points. We're excited for this panel discussion, and
we're going to send this one in the break. On the other side of this break, we're going to have Stephanie Scalaro back with another interview, and we'll have another special guest. So thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more of the Red Carpet Show.
Wake up with morning news every Tuesday and Wednesday at 8:30 a.m.
I know the spirit of defense. Say the name of Arbor and raise thy aegis.
All right. Aegis! No? I'm gonna cut it down.
All right, buddy, stop. No. Listen, there's goblins behind us, and I am a 20 HP wizard with squishy, and I want to fight both goblins and like some vine thing.
Listen, I got health potions!
Health potions don't matter when you're dead!
Guys, can we just stop
I don't
arguing?
like them to die!
We don't have a lot of time. They're gonna come over and
Want to watch a movie? Go to WTOP10.com and select Movies on Demand. You can find some of your old favorites and some new ones too. And it's free on campus. Watch and enjoy.
Hi guys, welcome back to the 13th Annual Media Summit here at SUNY Oswego. I am here with Brady Farkas, a 2012 alum from SUNY Oswego. Currently, he is the program director and on-air host for 101.3 ESPN Radio. Brady, how you doing today?
I'm good, Steph. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. So what is it like to be back? I mean, 2012. What, you seen any differences on campus, man?
There are some differences on campus. Tyler Hall looks much, much nicer than it used to. The staircase used to be completely circular. I actually fell down the stairs here once, running in because I was late to go see a play. So the fact that they're not circular anymore is very different. The campus is... Getting into the campus is much nicer because the sign to get in is completely lit up. Before it was just a brick slab. I am disappointed though it's chicken patty day and I didn't get one yet.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite too. Chicken patty, popcorn chicken, you can't go wrong.
Chicken patty, popcorn chicken, grilled steaks on Sundays.
Oh yeah, we still got all that. Now it seems like nothing's changed there.
We don't have to stick around an extra day.
Yeah, right? Exactly. All right, well, so from a sports standpoint, the topic of discussion tonight is facts, fiction, politics, and the news. So any correlation, any importance of that from your end of it?
Well, number one, we want to get everything we do right. Our job in journalism and broadcasting is to tell the facts. So that is important. We get a lot of crossover politically now, especially when we talk about NFL players kneeling for the national anthem. We get a lot of opinion on that, just like the political world does. So politics has transferred itself into sports and inserted itself into the conversation. You've got NFL players meeting on Capitol Hill and meeting in local communities, so it's a big topic for us too.
Mm-hmm. And from the panelists, I know we have a bunch of different views. We have some people from the White House here. We have different correspondents from different aspects of it. Is there anyone that you're more focal and excited to see here tonight, or just going to listen it all out?
Well, in particular, Benita Zahn, the moderator, she's been the anchor I've been watching since I used to live in Albany all the time before I moved to Vermont. So I'm interested in seeing Benita Zahn run the show, but I'm always just interested in how the right and left come together. And a lot of the issues people are having is not a lot of listening, so I'm interested to see how people can convince the public to listen. Opinions are great and having conviction in your opinions, but also there's got to be some give and take on each side.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know that you're here to watch the panel, but there's something important you're going to be doing here. What is it?
I've got the Career Connectors panel, which I thought all my talking was done for the day, but there's going to be more of it. So now I think this one is people who volunteered to come. So they weren't forced against their will or anything by a professor. So hopefully some questions will be asked and we'll have a good time.
That's great. So you're going to get to meet some students who are here now, just from a student standpoint of your own and where you're at right now, right?
Yeah, and I loved being a student here, and I love what this place did for me in my career. So if one person takes something out of what I said, then it's a win.
So while you're at Career Connectors, what is the type of advice or the things that you're really here to tell the students who are thinking about going into your field or any media field altogether about something they need to know for when they're in the field, basically?
Two things. One, never underestimate how big your network is. You sit and you wonder, okay, who do I really know that can help me? And the odds are you know way more people than you think, or you're only 1 to 2 steps removed from those people. Yeah. So realize that network, realize who can help you and how you can get them. And then also, do everything while you're here. I was very fortunate to do all talent-based work when I was here for WTOP and NYO, and that was great, and it was really special. But I didn't learn how to do any of the production stuff when I should have, and I learned it all at 24 instead of 19 and 20, and I wish I had taken advantage of all the opportunities.
Okay, now we're getting close to the Media Summit, so we're going to have to go soon. But any little last thoughts, any excitement, anything you're going to do here while you're in Oswego?
Sub shop for sure on my way out of town. That's an absolute definite. And go Lakers.
There, you heard it here, with Brady. So now we'll toss it back to Chelsea and Anthony.
Welcome back. We have Kara Vormwald around for us, and it's Kara Conrad for you guys that are outside of Oswego who might not recognize that name. She's a host and producer of an afternoon segment, Around the Tiers in Binghamton, New York. Joined the station in May of 2015 as a news producer and graduated from SUNY Oswego in May of 2015 with a bachelor's degree in broadcasting and mass communication. So right out of the gate, Kara is getting a lot of real-world experience. She's been involved in WTOP as an anchor and a producer, and also held the title of executive producer of Nightly News, which I have also held, so I can understand where you're coming from that perspective. She also co-created and hosted a morning talk show, The Morning Grind, so she's definitely been well ingrained in the WTOP, into Oswego, and is finding a lot of success out there in the real world. So thanks for joining us, Kara.
Thank you for having me. It's a little weird being on this side. It's a little weird being the guest. I'm normally being the interviewer. Definitely. All right, so we're excited to have you here. I guess let's start off with, can you tell us about your passion in this field and, why you really like doing what you do?
Oh my gosh, everything about broadcasting is my passion. I didn't grow up thinking that this is what I was going to be doing. Not at all. I wanted to be a vet, I wanted to be a pastry chef, I wanted to be an art teacher, just so many different things, and this was never on my list. And when I fell into it, when I literally fell into it, it just sparked something in me, and I just felt so comfortable with everything I was doing, and I was able to soak in the knowledge so much. So that's where the passion came from, is it just felt right. Like coming to this campus when I transferred here, it just felt right. So I knew it's something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life, or, maybe change careers. Who knows what's going to happen,
Definitely. All right. So, I think we're all a little biased here, but how do you think that SUNY Oswego experiences have really, and WTOP, have shaped your career, and how have they helped you and, given you the experience that you needed?
That's it, the experience, because you can come in here as a freshman, you can come in here as a sophomore, you can come in here at any grade level, and you can get that experience, and you can get that hands-on experience that a lot of other schools don't offer until you're a junior or a senior, which in my case it would have been a little bit better because I transferred here anyway, so I was already a junior. But just that real-world experience with working with the cameras and being on air and being able to produce through different types of news things, it was just such a great thing to have, and to be able to have that hands-on experience and get my hand in every cookie jar that I could, because you can experience that here through WTOP or through WNYR or through the Oswegonian. You can say, hey, I want to try this today, or hey, I want to try that today, and you're able to do that with those organizations, and I just think they're great.
Definitely. Okay, so going along with today's topic for the summit, it's facts, fiction, politics, and the news. What are your thoughts, I guess, on the topic, and what really stands out to you about that?
See, the thing is, I've never been into politics. I never have, and with this whirlwind of the election that happened, last year, it was crazy, and I didn't pay as much attention to it, just as the same as any other election would have been, because I'm not that into it. But it's interesting how now fake news is like a trending topic, and you hear it all the time, where before President Trump came on, you didn't really hear about fake news a lot, but it's always been out there. I think it was just brought to light by him. So it's an interesting topic, and it's a good topic for now. It's current, which I really like, that it's something that's current and we're not talking about something from the past.
Definitely. So in addition to that, what experiences maybe have you encountered, or things that you've had to really work to distinguish the difference between what is fact and what is fiction, or also, establishing your credibility as a reporter and a producer?
Yeah, I think you definitely have to have more than one source. You want to have multiple sources. You can't just ask one person and take their word for it. And it's so funny because I was just in New York City for an NAB summit at the Javits Center, and I took a class about fake news with somebody that works at the Poynter Institute. And people can fabricate pictures. We were just talking about the eclipse that happened. Mm-hmm. People were fabricating pictures about that. National Geographic actually put something out on their Instagram with one of their photographers that's very, very well known. And it wasn't, there's so many different levels to fake news. It's not what everybody thinks it is. There's 3 different parts to it. There's something that you're trying to deceive somebody. You're trying to get clicks or something that we say clickbait. And then other things are like, you just got the facts wrong, but it's still fake news. So there's so many moving parts to fake news and what it is. It's just crazy to me.
Definitely.
So for our viewers at home, you've been in the news industry for a few years now. What advice would you give to these students on how to differentiate what is fake news and what's not fake news?
I really feel like, I've moved away from the news industry. I'm more, happy events and that kind of thing. But when I was in it, you really need to get more than one source. It really is it. And always be, I don't want to say like always be skeptic about people, but honestly, even with the show that I do, I always have to be looking it up. You always have to be researching. You can't just take somebody's word for it. Even if it is a big name organization, you still want to make sure that that person is legit, and you don't want to damage your credibility because you took somebody's word for it. So just really double checking your facts and making sure that that they're true.
Definitely. That's a great point. And I think that, like you said, we are all human, and, we all can make mistakes. It happens easily. So, really making sure that you double check your sources, have more than one source, all of these really important elements to, helping to try to, I guess, show the media in a better light. Because I feel like, especially today, there is a negative connotation to the term media, whether that be, social media, broadcast news, talk shows, anything along those lines. What are your kind of thoughts on that?
I don't like, and this happens in life in general, but other people mess it up for other people. So somebody does something wrong, and then we all get grouped together as the media. Because some people are pushy. If somebody loses a loved one in a fire or something, I know personally I wouldn't want a reporter in my face asking me questions when this just happened to me. So I think that that's a big thing also that the media does, is we want to get the facts. We want to hear from the family, when we should just be stepping back for a second and be like, okay, this is our job. We want to get the facts, and we're not looking at it as humans, I guess. We're all human, but we're not looking at it that way. So I think somebody else can mess it up for everybody, and it's just something that we have to take as the media and try to change it and put a different spin on it and put that in the forefront of people's minds. Like, okay, it's not everybody, it's just some people.
I agree. That's a very great point. And I think that, at the end of the day, we are all human. We all need to work together to really just help make this world a better place, honestly.
Absolutely. So that's all we have for right now. After the break, we're going to have Stephanie live in the studio with some words from the co-event host, right?
That's right. Abby Buttacavoli and Bonnie Quattrochi. Stay tuned after the break, guys.
Wake up with morning news every Tuesday and Wednesday at 8:30 a.m.
I am the spirit of defense. Say the name of Arbor and raise thy aegis.
All right. Aegis! No? I'm gonna cut it down.
All right, buddy, stop. No. Listen, there's goblins behind us, and I am a 20 HP wizard with Squishy, and I want to fight both goblins on like some vine thing.
Listen, I got health potions!
Health potions don't matter when you're dead!
Guys, can we just stop
I
arguing?
don't like them to die!
We don't have a lot of time. They're gonna come over.
Want to watch a movie? Go to WTOP10.com and select Movies on Demand. You can find some of your old favorites and some new ones too. And it's free on campus. Watch and enjoy.